Welcome to the Hooksett Library's 2022 Candidates Forum, a series that helps connect voters with those running for elected offices in Hooksett. I'm Brittany Overton, the Adult Services Librarian at Hooksett Library. In this video, we talk with David Ross, who is running for Town Council. David, thank you for taking the time to share with us your interest in the Hooksett Town Council.
And thank you for hosting this. I've never done one of these before.
Great. Well, let's get started by having you tell us a little bit about yourself and the experiences that you've had that you feel would support you in the role of counselor.
Well, I guess I could go all the way back to Ronald Reagan, but I won't go that far. All right. I've been involved in town politics when I was up in Belmont as well, on conservation up there. And in Hooksett in 2006, I was convinced to run for council back then for District 4. That's the district I'm in. And because of my berating the council back then for a lot of practices that unfortunately I see happening now. And that was what got me involved. And I won 2 elections, and then I had to step down in 2010 because of some personal financial issues that were going on that I had to take too much of my time. And then in 2013, I threw my hat back in the ring again as an at-large candidate, and then was reelected again in 2016. And then once that term was done, I was tired and needed some time off. And plus, I was dealing with a knee injury at the time that had me on crutches. And then we had COVID, and then I went through this past year with 2 cancers. So I've been a little busy, but lately I've been drawn back in by people that want me drawn back in. And I've been attending some of the meetings recently. And I've lost my, gotten a little angry and then hot under the collar a couple of times because of some of what I've seen is just really, it'd be funny if it wasn't serious. So I'm running for town councilor at large, and I'm experienced. I know what to do, and I understand also that Hooksett's not a business; it's a trust, and we got to manage the trust in an efficient manner to pay attention to the people who are the owners of this trust, and also the people that live here, not the people that want to be here. We're not a business trying to attract customers, as some seem to think that, oh, we got to grow, grow, grow. I don't hear that out there at all. Never have. That, oh, we need to grow Hooksett faster. Hooksett's growing plenty fast. We're among the fastest growing communities in the state for quite a while. And we still have plenty of development going on right now with high-end apartments and with the housing that's going on up in the hills. We've got lots of properties that are coming online soon. And my concern is that some people just want to start stuffing apartments and all kinds of stuff into town. And I see that as going to change the whole aspect of the town, the whole, if you will, personality of the town. And I haven't found anybody yet that says we need more apartments in Hooksett. Yet we have a council that seems to be bent on doing it, and I'm going to do what I can to stop it. Well, or at least slow it down. Our job is to manage growth. Growth is going to happen. We don't need to finance it. We don't need to do any, a lot of the things that right now they're talking about too. I won't get into details, but the thing is that if we're going to do something for the public good, then the public has to weigh in on it. They have to have a voice in it. And right now I see deliberate times where they've tried to keep the voters out of it and tried to keep it quick. Hurry up, let's get this done. That's not the way you run a trust. And so they've lost my trust, and that's why I'm running.
Thank you. If you are elected, what initiatives or projects would you be most interested in tackling in the first year?
Well, coming to a legitimate and well thought out plan for this whole TIF project, which we're in, we're already into it. We're already paying a bond on that. The properties aren't returning the revenue that was expected. The valuations on that property dropped right away, right after they declared it a TIF. But anyways, that's really important to the town because the town has a lot of money invested there right now. We've got to get this done right. But my concern is that it's been going off in multiple directions, not based on what's best for the town, but what's best for the developers. And that's something I want to weigh in on as much as I can. Granted, planning is more in that category, but the council is the ones that are legal authorities when it comes to money and financing. And so that's something I'm certainly going to pay close attention to and make sure that everybody else is as well, because I get the feeling that, it's almost like Washington. We have the staff telling the elected officials what to do, and elected officials say, okay, oh, you need this? All right, you can have it. Oh, you need that? Go ahead. Well, they say they need it, but that's their job, you know? And I learned that years ago, my first 2 terms, about how it works. And I understand it. Anybody in any department is going to ask for everything they can possibly ask for because they want more. They want better machines. They want, better stuff. And you can't fault them for asking for it. And then if you keep giving it to them, you can't fault them for asking for more, especially when, and I've seen a few purchases where the question was specific. Is this a need or a want? It was like, well, it's really just a want, but they gave it to them anyway. And that's, that was 100,000 something. That's a lot of money when you divide it by 14,000 people. And so anyway, that's one of the things. The other thing is take a good look at how this town has been growing on the administration side. We can't get truck drivers yet. It seems we have plenty of staff. I don't know if we need all the staff we have. I know that won't be popular to some people, but the thing is that, I get the feeling that, they're running the show instead of the council. The council is supposed to be the governing authority. They're the ones supposed to be making decisions and planning which way the town should be headed with the acquiescence of the people, the voters. It seems the only time, it's unfortunate there isn't more participation. However, people are starting to get used to electronic media more than they were before. So I think that there's involvement that can occur that we don't even know is going on. And so I want to encourage that involvement. I've always been that way. That was just of all the letters I used to write. Because, if we don't run it, because we are the authority, the people, you and I and anybody that lives in town, we're the authority. This is where we're the top dog. And then comes the council. They work for us. And then comes staff and all the other stuff. They work for them. But we are the authority. And if we don't exercise that authority, then we shouldn't be surprised when we lose it,
Thank you. We have a few more questions related to Hooksett's future and development. How important is economic growth to Hooksett's future?
Commercial growth would be great. And we have lots of space for commercial growth up and down Hooksett Road. If you drive up and down Hooksett Road, you're going to see tons of property with thousands of cars driving by every day. Okay. I won't get into specifics, but some people had speculated and bought some properties there and consolidated them. And then what they were going to do didn't turn out. And it remains to this day. I don't know what's going on there. Of course, across the street, we got a big commercial building going in. That's where our financial benefits will come from, because a commercial development doesn't have kids in school, doesn't have the trash pickup, doesn't have all the servicemen coming and going in and out of the neighborhood. Okay, commercial properties, they generate income for the town of Hooksett, net income. Residential properties don't. And that's always been a problem. That's why they have impact fees. But even those are something that really get a lot of people angry that do want to develop or do want to do things. Is that, I've heard both sides of that argument on impact fees. New developments do impact the community, and they're supposed to be equitable as to how these fees weigh in against how much actual impact there is. It's hard to put an actual number on that, to be honest with you. I've seen them try every formula there is, but we have to manage the growth. That's the key. We have to manage it. We have a master plan that is in place and it was well thought out, and every now and then it's getting its additions and changes, and there's some things going on with it right now. But that's what we need to do, is to manage the growth as it comes and manage the amount of money we spend to keep this corporation called Hooksett in business. And that's the goal that I would have. And when I was on the council, we had a number of years where we had a 0% increase. Zero. We didn't spend a dime more that year than we did the year before, and we did that more than a couple of times. So I'm hoping to be that kind of guy as well, so that people can budget and they will know that, no, my taxes are going to be the same next year, or maybe just a little bit more, other than what we're seeing right now. Because if everything on that ballot passes, it's a lot of money right now out there, and I hope a lot of people pay attention to just what's out in there. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but there's a lot of fluff too, I think.
Great, thank you. And in your opinion, how should the council balance economic development, demand for housing, and maintaining a small town quality of life for residents?
Stay with the master plan we have. stay with the zoning that we have. And if there needs to be a change, then let's do it properly and let planning weigh in on it. Say, well, we think this would be a good idea. That'd be a good idea. And let them use their staff to do the research that needs to be done. But the housing needs, see, that is not a concern of people that live here now, because I got my house. All right. So when people say, oh, housing needs, you know, for whom? I'm not against growth. Like I said, we need to manage growth, but we don't need to be a developer. We're not a developer. We're a trust, and we're just trying to keep our town the way our people want it. And if our people want changes, then yeah, they're generally not too shy to let us know. And let's lose my train of thought here. That it has to be balanced, but again, that's more of a planning and zoning issue. Okay, council is more direct. We direct, and we also deal with the legal issues as far as in spending and stuff like that. But I think that the town's growing at a great rate already, and it will continue to grow because it's a great town. But if we change what the town looks like, then it won't be such a great town anymore. And then all of a sudden now our property values will start going in the other direction, because property values in a town with lots of apartments generally aren't as good as they are in towns that don't have a lot of apartments. That's just a matter of fact, in my opinion.
Great, thank you. And for the last question, with continued growth in population, how do you see Hooksett changing over the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I hope it doesn't change too drastically. I'm confident exit 11 is going to get developed because it's the last really good piece of property on the entire strip of 93 all the way up to exit 20. And it will be developed. We just need the right people that will recognize it and do it. It's going to happen there. That's growth that's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of revenue that's going to come out of that area. And we don't need to really put anything into it. Exit 10 is going to continue to grow. The bypass, the construction's going on up and down that thing. It's great. Commercial entities love that road. It's a nice, clean, straight shot from the highway right off of Route 101. They come in, they come out, they get gas on both sides of the road coming and going from Route 101. And I hope it stays that way. And I'm sure they do too. They don't want school buses. They don't want trash pickup trucks. They don't want all the service trucks and all the other things that go on in residential development, which is nothing that's trying to go on that road. The bypass is the gold mine for Hooksett. It's going to continue to be developed, and it's going to continue to generate income for the town. And most of the people along there aren't going anywhere for a long time. They're good, successful businesses. And as far as the hills, that's where most of the development's going to happen. There's beautiful property up there. I don't know if you've ever gone up to, up to where Manchester Sand is doing all the development, and the other developer up behind the library, right behind you. There's beautiful lots. You got some nice views, and there's a lot of land still yet that can be responsibly developed. That isn't going to affect wetlands. It isn't going to affect the traffic, because those areas have been dealt with already. That intersection was improved. Same with the other one. And I see that continuing. And the properties further north that are currently blocked off but have crossings, those will eventually get developed as well. I see more residential property in the northern part of the town. I hope not to see any real, excessive development on the western side of the river, because in the master plan, it's always been the desire of the people out there to keep it rural, which is the way it is. And it's beautiful out there too, out by the Pinnacle, and you go up around there. It's really nice up that way. And I'd like to see it stay that way. And again, that's why I'm still involved with conservation. So.
Great. Thank you so much, David. It's been great to hear your thoughts on the town council.